Hello all. As soon as I heard that Russell T Davies and David Tennant were coming back for Doctor Who, there was a little frisson of excitement, especially after the abject failure of Jodie and Chibnall's run. And then Russell started opening his mouth and saying all sorts of stuff that just started setting off those red flags. And to a point, those red flags were very accurate. I just finished watching the first special, and I'm not going to go into spoilers, I'm just going to give a general review. It was fine. There were flashes of the previous greatness, but there was also a lot of incredibly clunky and dumb dialogue. Visually, it looked great. You can tell that they've got a massive injection of money. David Tennant, I thought was good. He felt a little bit like he was trying to recapture the character, but he was great. And when he was with Catherine Tate, there was the bouncing off each other again. Some great interactions there. Donna's mother was good. Donna's husband was good. But her transgender daughter, and I say that specifically because that's the character in the show, is not a good actress. The story was fine. It felt a little half-baked. There was chunks of exposition at times. A couple of scenes that killed the momentum. And some ridiculous sonic screwdriver stuff akin to Chibber's run. And one of the main problems was that the woke garbage was so on the nose. No, I don't usually use the word woke because it is so kind of generic and coverall, but it's just the best way to describe it. There was one nice scene. It felt quite naturalistic, but for the most part it was just very, very on the nose. It would be romping along and then suddenly you'd have an inclusion moment. It felt like I was being slapped in the face by a wet halibut. And RTD's run of Doctor Who was incredibly progressive. It was fantastic, but it never felt like it was underlined. This felt very inorganic. There's something that happens in the show that is actually quite insulting for those it's trying to include. And I don't think they realise that. It happens regularly. It's the hypocrisy of the ideology. They're trying so hard to not do one thing, they end up doing it. I'm not giving any spoilers away, but the very beginning was just a massive exposition dumped by Tennant and Tate talking together. Tate's stuff was better, just because of what she was saying seemed more personal, but his was just like reading off a script. And I get it, it was to get the audience up to date with what was happening as to why he looked like he did, all the problems, etc., because they were framing this as a jumping on point. But it was a bit cringy, and then I really didn't like the theme music. Which leads me on to one of my biggest surprises. I love Murray Gold's score. His work on the previous series has been exceptional, and this was just average. It felt at times like the music was misstepping with what was happening on the screen, and it just kind of left me cold. I had no emotional resonance for me, and that really surprised me for Murray Gold. I actually watched The Impossible Planet and Satan Pit this morning, and some of this episode had a little of that old magic. So I'm not saying that it couldn't happen again in the next 2 episodes. I just didn't feel it this time. So yeah, overall, I'd say pretty disappointing. Great to see Tennant, great to see Tate. Their chemistry is great still, and that kept me engaged. Anyway, I'll leave that there. I can't really say much more without going into spoilers. I may do a spoilers video, I don't know yet. What did you all think? Did you enjoy it beyond the nostalgia buzz? I'm always interested to hear. If you've enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. And thank you very much for listening. Peace out.